Imagine an army so vast that if you stood at its rear, you might not even see where it begins. But this isn't just an army. It's a city, a living, breathing city on the move. Smoke rises from field kitchens. Leather tents collapse in the dawn light. Engineers drag heavy tools across the mud. Merchants call out, selling bread, wine, and salt to the weary. This is not just war, it's civilization on the march. And today, you'll step inside the machine that was a Roman legion on the move, hour by hour, step by step. And by the end, ask yourself, could you have survived even a single day beside the soldiers of Rome? Segment 1. The numbers. Before we can understand the march, we need to face the numbers, because they are staggering. At the height of Rome's power, a typical campaign force carried 2 full legions, over 13,000 trained soldiers. But they were not alone. Behind them came 5,000 auxiliaries, cavalry from Numidia, archers from Syria, slingers from Hispania, and fierce warriors from the German forests. That's nearly 20,000 armed men. Add to that the lifeblood of the army: cooks, slaves, servants, medics, and engineers. Another 4,000 souls. And pulling their world along, 5,000 mules and horses loaded with catapults, wood, stakes, and rations. All told, a force of 25,000 to 30,000 living beings on the move. Historian Polybius called it a moving wall of flesh. He wasn't exaggerating. A Roman column could stretch 5 to 8 miles down a road, a serpent of iron and dust crawling through the empire's veins. Segment 2. The Roman Dawn. The march began when the world still slept, between 3 and 4 in the morning. The first sound wasn't steel. It was the gallop of hooves, the speculatores, Rome's elite scouts, vanishing into the dark to secure the path ahead. Back at camp, a horn blared, the cornu. Time to move. Every 8-man squad, every contrabenium, packed up their tent, checked their gear, tightened their sandals. Each soldier carried his life on his back, up to 65 pounds of armor, tools, and rations. They were soldiers, builders, and beasts of burden. The world would later call them Marius's mules. At the front, Vanguard, a mix of cavalry, archers, and light infantry, fast, silent, and lethal. They faced ambushes, cleared traps, and vanished into forests 2 miles ahead of the main force. Behind them, the agriminosaures, military surveyors with geometry as their weapon. They measured, calculated, and marked where tonight's camp would rise. One mistake could doom an army. Then came the legatus, the commander, riding at the center, surrounded by guards and messengers. His word moved through the ranks like blood through veins. And then the heart of the beast, the legion itself. Tens of thousands marching in unison, shields glinting in the morning sun. Veterans in front, rookies in the middle, troublemakers in the rear. Discipline turned chaos into order, and order into power. Behind them trailed the impedimenta, the army's lifeline. Grain, tools, tents, medicine, siege engines, all carried on creaking carts and panting mules. Slow, vulnerable, essential. If the baggage fell, the army fell. That's why the rear guard marched with cold vigilance. They collected stragglers. They fought off raiders. They watched the shadow behind the serpent. Because Rome never forgot Teutoburg Forest, where neglecting the rear cost them 3 legions in a single night. And along the flanks, ghosts moved through the trees, light cavalry and scouts, the flank guard, unseen, unheard, protecting the army's fragile sides. As dusk fell, the army transformed once again. What began as a march became construction. Within hours, trenches were dug, ramparts raised, walls crowned with wooden stakes. 4 gates marked the entrances to another temporary city, a Roman castrum, a fortress built from discipline and exhaustion. Every night, everywhere they went. By firelight, soldiers ate their humble meal, pulse, a barley porridge. No laughter, no songs, only the whisper of armor and the crackle of distant fires. Each man slept with his sword beside him. Every 3 hours the watch changed, and the penalty for falling asleep? Death, enforced by your own brothers. Because in Rome's legions, failure wasn't punished by the enemy, it was punished by Rome itself. So after 24 hours, what looks like a simple march reveals something far greater. A Roman legion wasn't just an army. It was a machine of flesh and iron, a mobile city, a doctrine of power built on rhythm, calculation, and fear. It marched like a mechanism. It breathed like a living beast. Each night, it built Rome again, wherever it rested. Now tell me, could you have survived even 1 week beside the soldiers of Rome? If you enjoyed this journey into the past, subscribe to Roman Legacy. And as always, may Mars guide you in battle.
If you love history, legends, and great mysteries, hit that subscribe button and join our journey into the past.